The movie starts and we see some guards with futuristic weapons, are chasing a man. Soon the man is surrounded, but it turns out it was just an imagination of a boy named Raphaël studying in a French high school. Raphaël spends his time in class working on his sci-fi book instead of paying attention to teachers, which often gets him in trouble. He's been working on this book for 3 years, and the protagonist is Raphaël himself. His best friend and ping-pong partner Felix supports Raphaël's dream even though he isn't allowed to read the book yet. He always gives some idea regarding the plot, and points out the story needs a heroine. One evening after class, Raphaël hears a beautiful song and follows into one of the school's many abandoned rooms. There, he finds fellow student Olivia playing the piano. However, she stops playing when she notices Raphaël. Raphaël apologizes and compliments her piano skills. As he steps back, accidentally pushes the statue that activates the alarm. So Olivia and Raphaël had to run out of the building before they're found, and what begins as panic soon becomes laughing. When they reach a bench outside, they relaxes there and introduce themselves to each other. And it's at that moment Raphaël realizes that Olivia is the perfect love interest for his story and himself. The next day, Raphaël's in an awful mood because he realizes he's lost his notebook, and now he'll have to rewrite the story from scratch. Fortunately, Olivia found it in the piano room and brought it to Raphaël while admitting she read it all and liked it. After some friendly chatting, they both start kissing and hence a new love story begins. Raphaël and Olivia get along exceptionally well. Their dates together are lots of fun, from experiencing new kinds of food to carving their names on the bench where they fell asleep together. Olivia is very supportive of Raphaël's writing and helps him develop ideas. She's also the one who gets to read everything first. They go to college together, and every Sunday, they visit Olivia's grandmother Gabrielle, who gives Raphaël her beloved ring so he can propose to Olivia. Olivia of course accepts his proposal, and their marriage turns out a joyous occasion. The married couple moves to their apartment with the help of Felix and his girlfriend Morgan, and every day Olivia makes dinner for Raphaël by making cute and funny shapes on his plate. Raphaël surprises Olivia with a small piano of her own, and now she can practice at home more often while he writes. Olivia starts entering music competitions and small local concerts to build up her career as a musician. Raphaël always goes to see her shows every time. When Raphaël finishes his book, Olivia plans to surprise him and send the book to a publisher without Raphaël knowing. It turned out to be a great idea because it got Raphaël a publication contract, and he hired Felix as his manager. Soon Raphaël's book finds place in people's heart, so he becomes famous. And while this is great at first because it provided them things like a bigger apartment, and luxurious life, but later it causes misunderstanding between them. Raphaël is always busy at some party or interview and rarely around, leaving Olivia's cute meals abandoned on the table. To make matters worse, he starts missing Olivia's concerts and doesn't even mention her when he talks about the writing process he went through in interviews. All this stress and sorrow deeply affect Olivia's performances, and when she begins losing competitions, she gives up her dream and becomes a music teacher. One evening, Raphaël comes late but barely says a word to Olivia before sitting down to finish his next book. The hero must choose between his girlfriend and the world, and he chooses the world, letting the bad guys kill the love of his life. Olivia points out that this time, Raphaël hasn't allowed her to read anything, unlike in the old times. Raphaël tells her he isn't in the mood for an argument because tomorrow he has to discuss the movie deal and visit a school. Listening all this tears her heart apart and she finally says that she's tired of eating alone, and Raphaël constantly ignores her, so it's time to admit their relationship isn't going well and that she's unhappy. Raphaël also gets angry on this and stomp out of the apartment and drink at a bar. Still attached to her old tradition, Olivia reads Raphaël's new story as it snows outside, and she is incredibly hurt when she sees that Raphaël sacrificed the heroine of the story in order to protect the hero's life. Raphaël comes back late at night, and neither of them says a word before falling asleep. The following day, Raphaël oversleeps, so when he wakes up, he hurries out of the apartment to get to work without noticing the apartment has changed and assuming Olivia's avoiding him. Felix is waiting at the door for him as usual, but instead of his fancy car, he's brought an old scooter. Raphaël blames it on Felix's weirdness, and they leave on the scooter to reach the school where Raphaël will be talking to some fans. But things keep getting weird. A random teacher calls him Raph as if she knew him, and Felix leaves him in the classroom alone. When Raphael approaches the kids in class, he lets them ask questions they want, but they only have comments about their homework. Raphael is starting to think this may be a prank by the journalists, and after checking a mirror for hidden cameras, he leaves the room thinking he is getting pranked. Next, he goes to his publishing company for a meeting about the movie adaptation of his book, but nobody recognizes him there. Raphael thinks they're pranking him too, and he begins losing his temper, so he's kicked out of the building. While walking on the roads, he is shocked to see a sign on a bus promoting Olivia's next concert in one of the most prestigious theaters in the city. Raphael goes to that theater to see what's going on and finds a group of fans waiting for Olivia to come out. She's this big piano star, and as far as her fans and journalists everyone knows, she's still single. When Olivia finally shows up, she signs autographs for everyone and also give one to Raphael, and it seems she is unaware of Raphael's existence. Still utterly confused, Raphael returns to his apartment and finally notices everything is different. Olivia's belongings aren't there, and there's nothing fancy about it. Raphael's notebook shows his story needs to be completed, and he doesn't find any results on Google about himself despite the fame he had. He does find his profile on social media and dating sites, which show him he works as a literature teacher. When he Googles about Olivia, he is shocked to see the results. Olivia is now a very successful star, and everyone is crazy about her. A video call from Felix, who wants to talk about the wild party they attended last night, abruptly interrupts his search. They frequently go out and party and pick up strange women. Mélanie, the teacher he observed before, rings the bell before Raphael can inquire as to what exactly is happening. She also brings food and a desire for something more enticing than dinner when she enters the flat, as though Raphael is meant to be anticipating her. When Raphael decides to take a shower, he discovers a tattoo on his chest that wasn't there before. It says ping because Felix has pong to identify them as a ping pong team. The next day, Raphael goes in search of Felix and informs him that he has entered a parallel universe where his way of life is very different from that of the real one. Raphael must continue to instruct his class for the remainder of the day because Felix doesn't believe him. After work, Raphael makes another attempt to explain the situation to Felix, but the latter is still unconvinced. Felix explains to Raphael that he teaches literature, that his students adore him, that they still compete in ping-pong tournaments together, and that they don't live together since Raphael frequently invites various girls around. Raphael thinks this is terrible because of how different everything is, but he can't help but worry whether Olivia is also in a trap. Raphael enters a luxury party at the theater unnoticed in the evening by posing as a waiter. Olivia treats him like a waiter as soon as he approaches her. He is overjoyed when Olivia addresses him by name, but it turns out that Olivia just knows him because she recently gave him an autograph and not from a previous existence. Olivia finds Raphael's admission that he is not a waiter and that he only wanted to have the honor of speaking with her to be quite lovely. Raphael is interrupted by Olivia's work call before he can add more. On the weekend, Felix takes Raphael to a ping-pong competition. There Raphael plays as he is playing this game for first time. Of course they lost the match. This time Felix believes in Raphael's story, because Raphael is undefeated when it comes to ping-pong, but in the last match he was a disaster. Then Felix begins mentioning examples of time traveling and the alternate universe in fiction and points out there always is a conflict that initiates the transition, so Raphael tells him about the night of their argument. Since they had never fought before, Raphael assumes the argument triggered this craziness, and he needs to make Olivia love him again to solve it. At first, he thinks it would be easy because he knows everything about Olivia, but then he realizes her tastes may have changed in this life. Raphael starts by visiting Gabrielle on Sunday. Gabrielle swears she recognizes him, but soon Raphael catches on and understands she has memory trouble in this universe, so she's just playing along, and it seems she also has the ring that she gave Raphael in his world. Afterwards Olivia arrives. She's shocked to see a man without authorization bothering her grandmother, causing Raphael to pretend he's volunteering to read for the elderly in the nursing home before leaving the room to give them some privacy. Olivia thinks about contacting the director to verify Raphael's story, but she is surprised to hear Gabrielle remembering her name. and she believed the story is true when Gabrielle mentions she also remembers the guy. As Olivia steps outside, she sees Raphaël standing there with an older man, pretending to read a book. However, as soon as he sees Olivia, he sets the book aside and walks over to her, engaging in small talk as he buys her a coffee and snack that he thinks are her favorites. Unfortunately, Olivia doesn't care for the items he chooses, but she appreciates the effort Raphaël puts into trying to get to know her better. Raphaël mentions that he thinks Olivia, being a famous star, should have a biography written about her life and offers to do it himself. However, Olivia politely declines, explaining that she isn't interested in having a book about her life written at this meeting. As an attempt to win Olivia over, Raphaël enlists the help of his best friends. Felix calls Olivia's agent, pretending to be Raphaël's agent and offering a deal to write a biography about Olivia. The agent finds Felix's act amusing and agrees to set up a meeting between Raphaël and Olivia to discuss the matter. Raphaël is thrilled at the opportunity and arrives at Olivia's apartment the following night, flowers in hand, hoping to impress her. However, his excitement is short-lived when he is introduced to Marc, both Olivia's boyfriend and agent, as the meeting was intended to be a business discussion rather than a romantic one. Furious at the misunderstanding, Raphaël wants to kill Felix, but instead, he goes to the bathroom and calls Felix, asking him to come to the meeting as well. He lies to Olivia and Marc, telling them that Felix is just running late. Moments later, Felix arrives. The four of them have a somewhat awkward but pleasant dinner together, with Raphaël struggling to hide his jealousy as he watches Olivia and Marc be affectionate with each other. After dinner, Olivia goes outside for some fresh air and Raphaël joins her, discovering that she secretly smokes despite Marc's dislike of the habit. Olivia also confides in Raphaël that she feels it would be presumptuous for her to write a biography about herself at such a young age. In light of this, Raphaël decides to respect her wishes and drops the subject of the biography. When Marc comes to tell them that dessert is ready, Raphaël doesn't mention Olivia's smoking and she is impressed by the respect he has shown her. As a result, she decides that maybe she should consider writing a biography after all. Raphaël spends more time with Olivia and tricks her into falling in love with him once more on the fictitious pretense of writing her biography. Raphaël takes her to the abandoned room of the school, where they first met in his world. While breaking the lock, a professor sports them, so they came out running, same as they did before in his world. Olivia also invites him on a trip, where he can know more about her which can help him write the biography. They both enjoyed the trip very much. At night while swimming in the lake, Olivia gets attracted towards Raphaël, and they both mingles that night. After waking up in the morning, Raphaël thinks he has returned to the actual world, but soon realizes that he is still in the alternate world after seeing his tattoo. Olivia requests him to keep their last night a secret and she regrets not meeting him before. After returning from their trip, Olivia agrees to marry Marc when he proposes to her, causing Raphaël's heart to shatter. In an attempt to heal his own life, Raphaël tries to complete his novel, and this time instead heroine the protagonist sacrifice himself saving his love. Raphaël speculates that if Olivia reads the ending of the story, then it may change the course of events. He gives the manuscript to Olivia and asks her to read it as a final favor. As she reads the book, it begins to snow, just as it did the night they argued. Raphaël realizes that his theory was correct. However, when he reflects on his relationship with Olivia, he concludes that she would be happier without him. So he takes back the manuscript while Olivia is singing on stage and decides to stay in this universe where she seems happier. Suddenly, Olivia comes running back to him and decides to leave Marc, joining Raphaël as they kiss each other and the movie ends. Make sure to subscribe our channel for more content like this, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay notified about our new videos. Thanks for watching.